All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third episode of the Jack Business Guys podcast. I'm here with my boy Sheldon. There's only 3 rules to the show. Rule number 1, you got to be jacked. I don't know if you can tell, but Sheldon's arms are fucking massive. Dude's absolutely yoked. Rule number 2, you got to be 1099. You got to be working on some sort of business, sales, real estate, whatever. And then number 3, we only have 20 minutes. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and put a timer on my phone here real quick so we don't go over time. Respect everybody's time here. Let me hop on that real quick. And we're good to go. So let's get rolling, bro. I mean, tell me, let's start with work. Let's start with business. What do you do? What have you done? Walk me through it all, bro.
For sure. Yeah, let's get into it. So currently, I own a peptide clinic. Peptide clinic, a range of different peptides. Most popular, you have your GLP-1s, your trizepatide, semaglutide, retatrutide. I've been doing that for over a year. We're based in San Diego, but we work with over 48 states. So that's what I do currently. I've done other successful businesses in the past. By nature, I'm a finance and credit guy, but one of my skill sets is, finding trends early. Whether I stick with them or not, that's another thing. But I've also done, cleaning businesses, credit businesses, all types of different businesses. So, but at this moment, I'm scaling a peptide business.
I see you do a little bit of trading too. Is that kind of just something you do on the side just to kind of grow your investments, or tell me about that?
Yeah, so I actually don't trade. So one of my first businesses was like a blog, a personal finance blog. So
okay.
A lot of people don't have a master's in business and finance. So one of my hobbies is investing. So I had a mentorship group with over 300 people where I taught them how to invest along with other things. That was like in 2000 and maybe 17, 18. And we don't trade. We teach people how to grow their wealth. We taught people how to grow their wealth through long-term investing strategies. But I don't teach people anymore just because I went along with other ventures. But that's just a hobby of mine. So no trading, just long-term investing.
That leads me to just a personal question, because obviously you've done a lot of things and you said, hey, this is just what I'm doing right now. What's kind of your thought process on focus? What I mean? Because like in my thing, I'm like, I love fitness, bro. I want to coach people on fitness, but I'm trying to grow my business, my cleaning business.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much time in a day. The idea is to have your team running the business. So how do you look at focus? How do you navigate through that?
Yeah, I think that was the issue I had early on as an entrepreneur. Just shiny object syndrome, where you see these different things, you want to do it, right? So I think as I've gotten older, I've actually dialed into 1 or 2 things at a time. And really, I don't dial out of the main thing. I keep the main thing, and then I don't dial out of the main thing until I have automations in place or employees in place to pick up where I pick up the work, essentially. So I think that you should focus on 1 or 2 things until you have automations or a team in place before you move on. And then I think you should fail early. And, fail early. That's what luckily, it's a benefit and a con. It's a pro and a con. I picked up on trends before everybody picked up on them. Like, I know you're on a cleaning business. I started my cleaning business 3 years ago. I was like the only business in San Diego that actually had like a website, but I got out of it because it just wasn't for me. But if I stuck with things longer, you can benefit from it. But at the same time, if you're going to fail early and pick up something new. So,
yeah, I like that. I mean, I have a fundamental belief that if you stick with anything long enough, you will be successful in it. But how successful is the question? What's the market cap? What's your average ticket? It's always in any business, there's either a supply or a demand constraint.
Exactly.
So you know what I'm saying? So obviously there's a lot of demand in cleaning, but supply is really hard because you got to find reliable cleaners and hire, internal staff that can manage them and processes and all that. So it's like every business is a means to an end for sure. But, and obviously you would have been successful if you would have kept doing it. But it sounds to me like you saw the peptide deal as like, hey, this is something that I could possibly grow big or get more leverage out of. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, once again, I'm good at seeing trends early. So I started the peptide business technically over 2 years ago. I didn't get my clinic until a little later. But I've actively had a business in the peptide space for over 2 years. Nobody was doing the peptide business. So even me, I didn't really make that much money at the beginning because it was a science that nobody understood. But now that it's becoming more commercialized, people are starting to understand more. And if people are not understanding more, a lot of people are followers. So they're following the trend, especially in the fitness industry. And that's where people like me, I'm in the cycle of a gold rush. and I was on early enough to where I have all of my systems, processes in place to take up the demand of what's coming and what's going to, what's going to continue to come. So,
bro, I bet you, man, you could do a big exit here in the next couple of years while it's still trendy.
That and then, but another thing is regulation. So that's another issue. Like, yes, a lot of people are going to or potentially do big exits. Obviously, that's one of the reasons why people start businesses is to exit. But with the regulation and big pharma, I'm a scientist by trade. So
let's go.
Yeah, so
I'm a scientist, eh? Come on, baby.
Yeah, man. So I've seen these things, and a lot of big pharma, they're trying to cut off the supply of these, what we call compound pharmacies or peptide businesses, because they want to take all the profit. And that's where the issue is going to be with the regulatory and things like that with exiting. So
interesting. Yeah, no, for sure, bro. I mean, everybody and their uncle, bro, is into peptides. Like 3 months ago, dog, I literally thought peptides were like, I had this visual in my head. Peptides was like Pepto-Bismol, like pink little circles, bro, that you just, everybody's talking about them. I'm like, what's the deal with this? And then one of my homeboys put me onto Retta. He was like, yo, you got to try this Retta. Cause I've been cutting for a long time, but dude, I'm so sick of cutting. I'm so hungry. I'm out of all discipline and willpower. He's like, you got to get on Retta. I just lost 20 pounds. I'm like, and I know this guy that put me onto Retta. I mean, he gyms, but like, he doesn't gym like that. So when he told me he lost 20 pounds, I'm like, I got to get on this. So, and little did I know at the time, bro, Retta not only suppresses hunger, but it like boosts your metabolism. You were talking about that in a reel the other day. And I was just like, this is just shit right here, man. Bro, I feel like I'm eating the same amount of food almost.
It's crazy.
But I'm getting leaner by the day, man. I look at myself at the gym. I'm like, bro, I should not be this lean. Like, it would have been way harder to be this lean before.
Way harder. I'm telling you, a lot of people, they don't understand. It's like when I tell people that don't understand, it's like, oh, but you have to sacrifice this. Like, it's not an anabolic, right? It's not a steroid. Peptide, it's a chain amino acid. Our body produces chain amino acids. And essentially, it's just short chain of amino acids that send signals to our body to tell it to start working again or work better at whatever it needs to work better at. So things like Retta, I did a case study on myself, and that's when my income and my revenue started going up. I literally gained 27 to 30 pounds on purpose. I usually stay around 193. I went up to 227, dang near 230, and I went back down to 184 literally in 2 months. And I kept all my muscle for the most part. And I basically posted the case study before and after. And I told people my health markers got better. My blood markers got better. I was pre-diabetic just based on systematic health issues. My pre-diabetes went away. Like my, things, blood markers, blood pressure goes down, cholesterol goes down, everything goes down. And only thing I changed was I took the Retta, the peptide, you know what I mean? I still went out. I still had fun. I ate pretty healthy. I'm not going to lie, but I still ate what I wanted to on the weekends. And I still was able to lose 45 pounds as an already in shape guy. I wasn't obese.
That's wild. Dude, 45 pounds. That's like 20. That was what, 20% of your fucking body weight at that point?
20% of my body weight.
Bro's still going out.
Yeah,
bro's still going out. Bro's still locked in. Maybe a little bit of ice cream here and there.
Exactly. Eating. And then once I got to my goal weight for the case study, I was like, hey, I like being at this weight. So I stay around 184 to 190. And then on top of that, I can, once you get to your goal weight, I eat whatever I want, but just in smaller portions. I eat whatever I want and don't gain any weight, So,
yeah. Man, I heard someone say the other day, peptide. Well, here's the thing: peptides can fix bad habits. So if you do eat like shit and you take peptides, you will obviously lose the cravings, eat less shitty. But that being said, I think what peptides are really built for the people that kind of already maybe are on that right path, and it just optimizes. It just makes things better. Like we already have these compounds in our body, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest objection? I'm just curious, bro, because I love sales, I love business. Like, what kind of objections do you get when people are asking you about peptides? Like, people are like, is this steroids? Number one. Number two, like, I don't know, bro. I'm just curious. What kind of objections do you get?
So they say, I'm going to lose all my muscle mass. Or they say, am I going to get Ozempic face? Or they say, I don't want to poke myself. I don't want to inject myself. Or it's many different rejections, or like people talk themselves out of it. It's like, what's the alternative? Death? Because remember, in the United States, no, it sounds funny, but it's serious because in the United States, 30 to 40% of people die off of metabolic disease and cardiovascular health. So if with these GLP-1s, it's decreasing cardiovascular death by over 20%. So it's like if people are cutting 27% of their body fat, and body fat and fat in your body is what's causing cardiovascular disease and metabolic disease, you're no longer going to be diabetic, which is top 10 causes of death. You're no longer going to have high blood pressure, which is top 10 causes of death, cholesterol, like all these things. So it's like, what's the alternative? You can make all these excuses. That's what I'll tell people on the phone. Okay, I appreciate all your concerns, but what's the alternative? They literally cannot tell me any alternative. How long have you had this issue? How long have you been overweight? How long have you had low energy? Oh, for all my life. Okay, what's the alternative? And then I get
what's the alternative? Side effects. Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What's the side effects of being a fat fuck?
Exactly. You're tired.
High cholesterol.
High cholesterol. You can't move. You can't tie your shoes. You got to sit down and tie your shoes. Like all these different things. So I usually can sell pretty easily because weight is. You also can sell emotion. Weight is one of the things you can sell easily. So in your business, it's a little different. In my business, it works because you can sell emotion. You know. So
right. I love that, bro. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. What's the alternative? What happens if you don't do this? Is
exactly.
The way I feel like that's kind of the sales message in your industry, because it's like, well, you could just keep doing what you're doing, and all these things that you mentioned. The reason why you reached out to me because you felt tired and slow, and is are you okay with that staying the same? No problem. I don't care. This is trending. Peptides are trending. There's a million other people that are going to be calling me. I don't need your business, but
exactly. Then they say, "Oh, it's too expensive." It's like, okay, if this is too expensive, how much money do you spend on fast food per month? How much money do you spend on this per month? It's not too expensive. You just are not prioritizing properly. So, it's not an easy sell, but it's easier than a lot of other niches and industries. I'll say that.
Right. So, do you guys? I don't know if this is something you'd even want to say, but like, I'm just curious. Do you guys produce your own peptides, or you guys you just retail them, or?
Good question. So there's two businesses out there, and I'll keep it vague, but there's two businesses. You have the research peptide space, and then you have the medical grade peptide space. I'm in a unique position where I spent a lot of money up front to be legally able to sell peptides, where we have the doctors in place. We have doctors that do consultations. We have we get our stuff from what we call 503A, 503B pharmacies. But we also, I have another company, I would say, that also offers research peptides. Now, the reason why people want to work with research peptides is because they're 50% cheaper because you don't need a doctor consultation. You don't. It's not coming from a super large pharmacy. So a lot of people go with the research peptides because they don't have to worry about doctor's consultations every month. They don't have to worry about the 50% markup. But we do have some clients that would prefer to go the medical grade peptide route. But to be honest, they all go through a testing, and you get a certificate of analysis, which basically tells you what is this that we're getting tested. 99% of Retta. It's tested medical grade, whether it's medical grade peptides or research grade peptides, they all come from the same place. And as long as you're working with a company that does their due diligence, they will have a COA, certificate of analysis, that proves it is what it is that you're selling or taking. So to answer your question, in a big picture point of view, we have both, and we're legally able to sell it. And a lot of people aren't legally able to sell it, hence why they don't have their face behind the brand. It's just vials instead of me. I do videos, I do everything. So I have my face. So if something happens, they know where to find me,
Yeah. The guy I get peptides from right now, I don't know if he'd want me posting his number online or putting his face on things. I love that. I love that you have both sides of that market, because for me, is in my business, there's two different types of clients. There's clients that would rather get a cheaper service. They don't care about insurance. They don't care about background checks. Whatever, they're fine. They'll do their own research, whatever. They don't care about customer service. Then there's the people that pay for our service. We're going to be 2-3 times more expensive than Susie down the road, but we're going to have workers' comp insurance. If my cleaner gets hurt at your house, you're not going to get sued. If my cleaner, breaks your ceiling fan, I don't know, it falls off because she was too rough with it, just for example, our insurance is going to cover that. So there's two different types of people. And we market to those people that care about the peace of mind, they care about the customer service, they care about the quality, the reclean guarantee, all that stuff. So, and I haven't really figured out how to get into the other side of the market, because I wouldn't be making any money. So, what I'm saying? So I love that. I love that you get both sides of the market. I think that's super, super dope.
Yeah, I had to figure
Dude,
it out on my own because I wasn't making as much as I knew I could with the medical grade because they're so expensive when my competitors are able to sell it much cheaper because they're selling research grade, but the end user, which is the customer, doesn't know the difference. So I was like, you know what I mean?
right. So then it comes down to, that's why the content and getting exposure and whatever is so important for you. People understanding really what the difference is.
Yep. Yep.
Understanding the value obviously in the medical grade, right? So let me see how much time we got here. Yeah, we've got like 5-6 minutes. So let's pivot a little bit, bro, because obviously, I mean, I love fitness. I know you love fitness. What's walk me through your split, man? What's your routine? What are some of
Yeah.
your fitness goals? What's coming up for you?
Yeah. Routine. I usually do. I don't know what you want to call it, but push pull. I usually do about I do back buys, chest tries. I do one leg day, which is like normal leg squats, leg press. I do another leg day, which is CrossFit. I'm an ex college athlete. I play college football, so I like to say
Oh, let's
functional.
go.
So I do a CrossFit day, which is another leg day, and then I do like two cardio days. One is going to be strictly like sprints, high intensity. The other one's going to be like basketball, like pick up like 5-on-5, 3-on-3 type deal. Yeah,
Let's go.
man.
Hey, so you still got that athlete. I think I left that athlete part of me in the past, bro. I used to play basketball. I played football. I played quarterback back in the day. I mean,
Okay.
grew up playing hockey, all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I guess now I just kind of train like a bodybuilder, to be honest. But sometimes I
Yeah.
want to, I'd like to do more functional movements and CrossFit
Yep.
stuff, and
Yep.
just stay in. I always say, man, there's a difference between looking good and being in shape.
Exactly. I like feeling
I'm
good.
not, I'm not in good shape, bro, but I look great.
Yeah. See, I have a younger son. I have a 1-year-old son, so I want to be able to run around with him and stuff. By the time he's 10 years from now, I need to still be able to jump, sprint, run. So, I value and pride myself on being functional and also being able to lift, but being functional as well.
Yeah,
So,
I think if I had a son for sure, that I mean that's just an excuse. Obviously, I'm saying right now, but I want to be that. I'd like to have kids soon for sure, man, because I want to be a
yeah.
young dad, throwing the football like
Mm,
100%, man.
yeah.
Showing my kid what's up. Showing the coaches what's up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
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 So that's super dope, man. I love that. And you just kind of work out of your apartment, right? Or you work out at your apartment? Is it like a time thing for you, or what's I guess what's the reason you like to keep it at home?
Yeah, I travel for work, so I live downtown, so I really don't like going too many places. But they have
Yeah.
all the equipment we need. It's a newer gym, and I know how to like improvise. So I don't mind working. I don't need all the best equipment, and I'm self
Yeah.
motivated. I know a lot of people want to work out at the cool gyms because it's all the jack people there, but
That's
I'm just
right.
self motivated. So it's just easy to work out here. 24-hour fitness
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
blue moon. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
look
right.
cool though.
No, I hear you, bro. It's if you got that self discipline, you could stay locked in. You could literally work out anywhere, bro. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? For me, I don't know. I don't really go out much, and to
Mhm.
be honest with you, like I really don't have a lot of friends. So it's like I like the social aspect of it. That's why I
Yeah.
like going to the gym. It's like kind of I could work out at home or whatever, but and I'm not the
Yeah.
type of guy that likes to go out all the time and likes to
Yeah.
party and be social. So it's kind of like my social fix. You know what I mean? But other than
Makes
that,
sense.
though, I'm kind of a hermit, bro. If it, yeah,
That makes a lot of sense, man. Makes a lot of sense.
yes,
But yeah, man, that's my split and kind of what I have going on, man. So
awesome, bro. Well, let's. I think we got like a minute or two left here, bro. But just close us out, man. I mean, what's something you would give? I guess what's some advice that you would give to a young guy that's looking to get into business and looking to make something of himself?
yeah. So like I mentioned early, like I said, if you're going to do one thing, stick with it. Like, like you said, Justin, obviously anything's going to work as much as you put the work in, but you're going to have peaks and valleys. You could pick one strategy, stick with something, or fail early and pick up something new. Also, I know this is for entrepreneurs, but if you don't have any motion, don't quit the main thing. If you don't have any motion, like yes, it's okay to go all in on yourself, but you're going to go further with having guaranteed income that you can invest into your side thing until it becomes the main thing, which is your entrepreneurship journeys. You can spend money on ads. If you don't have any extra money, marketing is a big component of business. So if you don't have that extra money to spend on marketing, then don't leave the main thing. We have guaranteed income. So yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. Make sure you're staying in the gym at least 3 to 4 days a week. Please don't get overweight because that's going to be for us men.
No,
We have to be in shape. That's one of our duties as a man. So make sure you're
that's
staying in
right.
shape. Make sure you're doing
Yeah.
your stuff with business. Make sure you're educating yourself. Make sure you're getting mentors if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Staying in shape, I think, is the baseline as a man,
Yeah.
bro. We set the example for the next generation.
Yep.
Health, mental
Mm-hmm.
clarity. I mean,
Yep.
success is more than just money, bro. It's about being in shape. It's about setting a good example for the kids, bro. I mean, the people that I looked up to, man, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be like them, man. And that was the guys that were in shape, that were doing big things. So
Exactly.
that's really good advice. And yeah, my quarterback Jalen Hurts, man, his most famous quote. He says, "Keep the main thing, bro." So we all get girl in the red dress, shiny object syndrome, and we just gotta remember, bro. Keep it the main thing. And
Yeah,
hey,
for sure.
man, we're all learning and we're all growing. So sometimes we might forget that, but it's a good principle to live by. But anyways, guys, appreciate y'all listening in, and it was good to chop it up with you, Sheldon. I'll just stop the recording here, and we'll